Julie expects to exchange more pins with tourists from around the world today and wear them on his tuxedo.
But we need to send you a flat one, don't we, so you don't lose it off here.
This experienced doorman in the lobby of the Victoria Falls Hotel in Zimbabwe enjoys seeing off old friends and welcoming new ones.
Let me take you inside there. Now we have come to the...
Besides his concierge work, Julie is also responsible for the luggage department. When there is too much work for his bellhops, he'll lend a hand.
Okay, would you mind to come with me to the check-in point, please? Hello, Mama. Hello. Yes, come with me. Mind? Julie. The left of the bridge, that is Zimbabwe. What you see, something burning there, that is the mighty falls. The real name of the falls is called Mosia Tunya. It means the smoke that thunders. On your left, that's Zimbabwe. On the right, that's Zambia. At the mid, that's where people do bungee jumping. That is 111 meters.
As the largest and most spectacular waterfall in Africa, the Victoria Falls is revered by tourists all around the world. It's said that there are women beating djembe drums deep in the pools under the waterfall, making a thunderous roar. Their dresses form colorful rainbows, and the spray rises to become clouds of different shapes. But it hasn't always been easy to appreciate this wonder of the world. Victoria Falls Airport was built in the 1960s. The original design was a long way from meeting the demands of modern aviation. The runway can only handle small planes, and tourists have to make several transfers to reach the town.
当时我们来的时候就已经蛮破旧了，然后他们政府2000年左右就想改扩建这个机场项目，但是因为各种原因吧，一直不能实施。
Supported by the Chinese government and financed by a loan from the Export-Import Bank of China, the Victoria Falls International Airport expansion project broke ground in 2013.
新航楼建成之后，我们这个建筑面积扩大为原来的大约7倍甚至到8倍。我们新增加了一条4000米长、60米宽的主跑道，把原来这个跑道改造为了这个滑行道，并且增加了联络道，然后增加了3条登机桥，这大大的提高了这个机场的接待能力。
Departure runway 12. Information India, QNH 1020.
On March 1st, 2017, a South African Airways Airbus A330-200 landed at Victoria Falls Airport. Carrying 222 passengers, it was the first ever wide-body aircraft to land there. Victoria Falls City became quite busy because of the surge in passenger numbers. Visitors needed to book their hotel room a year in advance.
Since the expansion, we've seen the numbers growing steadily. We have seen a 20% increase in the first year that the airport started operating in arrivals. And this year, in our first quarter, we were 11% up from last year.
8 carriers, including South Africa Airways, Kenya Airways and British Airways, currently fly in and out of Victoria Falls Airport. Annual passenger numbers surged from around 200,000 before the expansion to 345,000 in 2017. Some Chinese airlines are also studying the feasibility of flying direct to the city.
依托这个项目，津巴布韦政府还计划呢，把维多利亚地区打造成一个以旅游和金融业为主的一个经济特区。 进一步促进当地的这个经济社会发展。
Tourism is a pillar industry in many African countries. Their virgin forests, wild animals, sincere people and diversified cultures attract tourists from all around the world. More than 20 African countries have issued preferential visa policies for Chinese citizens. China and Africa are embracing an historic opportunity for cooperation in tourism, encapsulated by the slogan, "Go to Africa, discover the charm." Their bilateral partnership has encouraged both sides to take a key step forward in travel and visa facilitation. Today, Chinese tourists can tour Africa anytime they like. Quickly expanding cooperation in tourism can be a major step forward in deepening economic partnerships and people-to-people exchanges among the Belt and Road countries. Infrastructure, such as airports and seaports, shows how open a country is to the outside world. They're also a key factor in determining just how competitive African tourism is. The 20 or so joint airport expansion projects between China and Africa are fueling the engine of the continent's open development. And of course, both sides believe that development should be common, intensive, green and safe. For more than a decade, as a sincere, practical, trustworthy and faithful friend of Africa and a staunch supporter of its vision for peace, China has sent peacekeepers to several countries on the continent, such as Mali, Liberia, South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Its work has been within the framework of the United Nations and is helping to maintain peace and stability whilst reducing the chances of conflict and war.
贫困是动荡的根源，和平是发展的保障，发展是解决一切问题的总钥匙。中方愿意积极参与非洲加强维护和平安全能力建设，支持非洲加快发展，消除贫困，实现持久和平。
As one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, China has earnestly fulfilled its responsibilities and duties. Of the 5, it has also provided the largest number of peacekeepers. Since 1990, Chinese troops have served on 24 UN peacekeeping missions, engaging 37,000 personnel. Currently, about 2,000 Chinese peacekeepers are on duty in Africa. 8 Chinese soldiers have lost their lives there on active duty. A stable social order and peaceful environment provides a necessary precondition for foreign investment. The Hawassa Industrial Park in southern Ethiopia was built by the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation and financed by the national government. It opened 6 months ago, but there are already 19 international enterprises in its 52 workshops. Each day, tens of thousands of employees work here, a number which places a lot of pressure on the park's operations manager, FISM.
JP, no? JP Textile. You just disappeared.
Yes.
Mr. Danny told me you'll visit us if there is any problem.
Yes.
So
but
that means you don't have any problem, any issue.
yeah, but yesterday we have a very big issue for our company.
When it's fully operational, the park will create 60,000 jobs and bring in about $1 billion in annual export revenue. Taking advantage of its human resources to develop the modern textile industry is a priority in Ethiopia's National Development Plan. The park is just one new cog in the country's national development strategy. To fulfill the plan, the country has established 14 industrial zones altogether. And what connects them, most importantly, is a Chinese-built railway. The electrified rail line running from the nation's capital, Addis Ababa, to the port of Djibouti on the Red Sea is Ethiopia's first.
埃塞是一个内陆国家，所缺乏的就是出海口。 能够让物资低成本的流动，对于埃塞的经济是非常重要的。所以雅吉铁路的建设就弥补了这个空档。
The Ababa-Djibouti Railway stretches for 752 kilometers. The trip used to take 7 days by road, but is now only 10 hours by train. It underpins just how crucial an efficient transport network is for the success of the 14 industrial parks.
14个工业园都位于雅吉铁路的沿线，或者跟雅吉铁路相连的交通主干线上。比如说阿瓦萨工业园，现在会通过埃塞规划的从毛久到阿瓦萨的铁路相连。这两个工业园位于跟雅吉铁路相连的北部铁路线上，所以整个埃塞的工业园的一个发展的规划，雅吉铁路来说的是一个交通运输的主干道。
It is quite a tremendous achievement, you see. We want to scale up the service coverage of the train by including not only containers, but also other vehicle import cargos, dry bulk and liquid bulk cargos.
Okay.
From industrial parks to railway logistics, an intensive cooperation model has been devised to build the required integrated platforms for local economic development. As Africans seek a localized strategy for development, China is working with them to develop ideas and search for African solutions to African problems. While old enterprises in Africa are undergoing revitalization, new firms have never ceased to emerge. New models, concepts and technologies tailored to meet local conditions appear thick and fast. Tecno mobile phone may be still unknown in China, but it has become one of the most popular cell phone brands in Africa. In March 2017, 3 Tecno products were included on a list of Africa's top 100 most admired brands in a popular British magazine, thanks to their developers.
7.91，对吧？和之前的7.8G 是完全差不多的。
This replica of an African streetscape at Transion's R&D center in Shanghai is designed to recreate a typical daily environment. African staffers are indispensable in the work. They are testing to see if the photo function of a newly developed product is suitable for African people.
比如说，他希望肤色更健康一些，然后我的皮肤更丝滑一些，然后它的臂长也是不一样的。那我们都会根据他们的这个臂长，然后去制定适合他们的范围，让他拍出来就觉得是最美的。
In 2017, based on an upbeat assessment of prospective gains, the China-Africa Fund for Industrial Cooperation invested 80 million yuan in Transsion. It's currently one of the continent's top sellers of cell phones and is one of 11 projects the fund has investments in. Besides telecommunications, it has also funded resources, energy and industrial manufacturing projects within the framework of China-Africa cooperation, drawing down an overall investment of nearly $10 billion. At 40 minutes past midnight, December 11, 2017, Algeria's first communications satellite, the Alcomsat-1, blasted off from the Xichang Satellite Launch Center in southwest China's Sichuan province, and later entered its predetermined orbit. The North African country, tens of thousands of miles away, finally had its own satellite. Since the Johannesburg summit, young scientists from China and Africa have enhanced exchanges and joined the Global Innovation Network, achieving breakthroughs in areas such as biomolecules and telecommunications, drawing plenty of global attention in the process. High-tech has become a new growth point in China-Africa cooperation. In Africa, technology is also helping to revitalize many traditional industries. 32-year-old Bongani Ndiambo is installing lights on the first cars to roll off the assembly line in the South African plant of Beijing Automobile International Corporation.
I was originally a repair worker. I checked for some of the ads they listed on the newspaper, and then through examination, fortunately I became a staff.
The first assembly plant built by the Chinese corporation in South Africa, once fully operational, will create 2,500 direct jobs, as well as more than 10,000 other posts throughout the production process. On July 24, 2018, Chinese President Xi Jinping and the new South African leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, were present to see the first car come off the assembly line at BAIC Automobile South Africa. The moment marked the beginning of normal operations at the Koiga Industrial Development Zone near Port Elizabeth, BAIC's first overseas assembly plant.
汽车产业 目前是南非的支柱产业，占南非 GDP 的7.5%，汽车的产量占整个非洲的64%。南非的汽车工业基础也比较好，这为北汽集团在南非的布局提供了有利条件。北汽也将通过布局南非，辐射其他海外市场，实现中非汽车产业的共同成长。
The equator passes right through the heart of the African continent, but this doesn't necessarily mean very high temperatures. High altitudes and temperate climates create a paradise for wild animals and plant life. The banks of the White Nile in Uganda, for instance, are a natural habitat for many remarkable species. In Kayunga, 90 kilometers from the nation's capital, Kampala, a flock of African great egrets have settled on an inhabited islet in the middle of the great river. Alongside the islet, the construction of the Isimba hydropower station is underway. This clean energy project, built by the China International Water and Electric Corporation, CWE, and financed by a loan from the Export-Import Bank of China and the Ugandan government, will have a designed capacity of 183 megawatts.
It's a friendly environment. It doesn't have a big lake. It's not going to really destroy the river.
The principle of environmental friendliness, ecological preservation, and wild animal and plant protection is central to joint China-Africa development ventures.
我们秉承一个理念，叫尊重生命、敬畏自然，人与自然和谐共生。
As part of his trip to Zimbabwe in late 2015, President Xi visited a local wildlife sanctuary, Wild is Life, and saw some of the animals it rescued. Wildlife protection is a major area of cooperation between China and Zimbabwe. China has been working with African countries to strengthen their wildlife protection capacities through material aid and the exchange of expertise.
It is very hard.
In late 2016, China activated a comprehensive ban on commercial ivory processing and sales. It has promoted international cooperation on wildlife conservation, whilst also making strenuous efforts to implement international treaties. During the breeding season, from May to July, adult egrets go in search of food. Besides the small fish and shrimp in the Nile, a large number of mollusks and aquatic insects living in dam cracks also enrich their diet. As the first baby egrets of the season come into the world, the Asimba station is also finishing the installation of its first power generation unit.
我们工程中间的岛，原来生存的动物现在都存在，而且每天都在跟我们伴舞。
At the end of the day, the workers gather on the riverbank nearby. Here they enjoy looking up at the sky and into the clear water, being so close to nature and the wildlife.
"中方将支持非洲增强绿色、低碳、可持续发展能力，支持非洲实施100个清洁能源和野生动植物保护项目、环境友好型农业项目和智慧型城市建设项目。中非合作绝不以牺牲非洲生态环境和长远利益为代价。"
As an historical and geographic extension of the maritime Silk Road, the beautiful African continent promises to play a major role in China's massive international development project, the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yo creo que es una iniciativa muy inteligente del presidente Xi Jinping, que es el que ha inspirado esa iniciativa, y esa iniciativa va a favorecer mucho la cooperación entre China y África.
La communauté des destins, ça ne peut pas être seulement un slogan, c'est d'abord l'action. Et je crois que cette action, c'est le projet Une ceinture, une route. Je salue le projet Ceinture, une route.
In November 2012, the idea of a community with a shared future for mankind was first proposed. Over the past 6 years, the concept has been reiterated many times by President Xi Jinping at various international events.
善学者尽其理，善行者究其难。构建人类命运共同体是一个美好的目标，也是一个需要一代又一代人接力跑才能实现的目标。
نحن نقول هذه الفكرة تنبع من الفكرة الإنسانية، أن بني الإنسان كلهم يتساوون في الحقوق والواجبات. هذه الفكرة تطرح المساواة بين الشعوب.
Today, the world is a global village, and we are all connected. Whether we are on the coast of the seas or we are landlocked, there is need for us all to be connected.
If very few are benefiting and the majority are not getting the benefit of development, then that development will not go forward. Because it will not also depend only on China, it will also depend on its partners. So everybody has to play his share to make this region successful.
On March 17, 2017, the expression of building a community of shared future for mankind was first used in a UN Security Council resolution, highlighting its international importance and marking another way in which China is contributing to global governance.
The prosperity of China benefited us. Universal prosperity will benefit everybody.
E nós estamos certos que sim, com o aumento do investimento privado chinês em Angola, com a manutenção das linhas de financiamento que o governo chinês tem dado regularmente a Angola, vamos atingir níveis bastante satisfatórios.
Donc le bien-être de la population est très important et c'est ce que nous recherchons. Donc il nous a semblé qu'il était possible d'accélérer le développement de notre pays.
Of international relations, which stresses the common ties, the common linkages, the common purposes that exist between our two peoples, is something which is extremely positive.
Eradicating worldwide poverty is the top priority of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Agenda 2063 of the African Union also covers issues such as enhancing the liberation of the forces of production. China and Africa have united due to similar historical experiences, shared development goals, and common strategic interests. And the building of a closer community of common destiny requires their joint efforts to enhance top-level design, uphold strategic leadership, forge agreements, coordinate actions, roll out new pragmatic cooperation measures, and achieve a higher level of mutual benefit and win-win cooperation.
Moi, je ne traite pas d'un chef, mais je le traite comme parent, comme mon père, comme mon fils, mon grand frère ou mon petit frère.
We come from different backgrounds, we have different work ethics, we have different cultures, but this has again given us an opportunity to basically learn from each other.
Je pense que c'est elle qui fait vraiment un fruit entre la Chine et le Togo, et que ça fait une relation vraiment solide. Je souhaiterais qu'il y ait encore de plus que ceci pour l'avenir, pour nos enfants.
We expect very many people to be moving, going to work and going to other different purposes.
我们一起努力，然后会生活越来越好的。
我们呼吁各国人民同心协力，构建人类命运共同体，建设持久和平、普遍安全、共同繁荣、开放包容、清洁美丽的世界。